the names and the photos. And my lords and my ladies can imagine the confusion it would cause if this election was allowed to proceed on the basis of those ballots. Now, because of the deficiency of trust in this country, ballot pallets can only be opened on the eve of the elections to avoid a situation where IEBC is accused of having interfered or in any way manipulated the ballot papers. And so they were opened on the eve of the elections, which is on the 8th, and that is set out in the affidavit, when this mix-up was noticed. My lords, there was absolutely no time for fresh ballots to have been printed and delivered in time for the elections to be held. And therefore, in pursuant to the provisions of Section 55B of the Elections Elections Act, IEBC considered that this issue was an emergency. And what is an emergency? An emergency is an unexpected issue that requires immediate action. That's what an emergency is. And this was an issue that arose on the eve of the elections. These ballot papers could not possibly have been given to the electorate and told to use them for purposes of the election. And it is for that reason that IEBC, for purposes of securing the rights under Article 38 of the Constitution, decided to postpone the election to give the electors the opportunity to use the proper ballot papers for purposes of this election. And the mix-up was admitted by the printer. And what the printer did is that they agreed to print those ballot papers afresh at no cost. Now, my lords and my ladies, if we had used those ballot papers, obviously, we could not have been able to get a reprint at no cost. And secondly, for sure there would have been a petition on the basis that there was confusion arising from the mix-up in the images and the names. And so the postponement of these elections was justified in the circumstances. My learned friends dwelt at length on what the chairperson is alleged to have said in a public statement. My lords, these are newspaper reports that are given from time to time. And the important thing is, what does the law say in situations such as this? Does the IEBC have the power to postpone the elections? And the answer is yes, because it secures and protects Article 38 rights. My lord, the second issue that, and this is the court will take judicial notice of this, is that there was ongoing litigation in Mombasa regarding the gubernatorial seat. And this litigation went on up to close just before the elections were concluded. And so, my lords, again, this caused delay in terms of the timing of when those ballot papers would arrive. So, my lords, importantly, before the ballot papers were brought, the commissioners that are complaining all traveled to Greece. All 4 of them traveled to Greece to review and see how the printing was going on. They were the ones who represented the commission in Greece. And so, my lords, for them to now say that there was no, that this was an error, that it cannot come from their lips. They were there, my lord. So it's a humble submission that based on what we have submitted, that the elections were conducted in accordance with the provisions of Article 138 of the Constitution, and that these petitions should be dismissed with costs. That's all, my lords.